Northern Vietnam entered February 2026 under an unusually harsh cold wave that immediately altered daily routines, emotional moods, and nationwide Tet preparations. Instead of a typical mild winter transition, residents woke to biting winds, steady drizzle, and temperatures dropping far below seasonal comfort levels. From large urban centers to quiet rural villages, the cold spread evenly, making it impossible for anyone to ignore or easily adapt. Hanoi experienced damp, penetrating cold that felt heavier than numbers suggested, draining energy and complicating everyday outdoor activities. In mountainous regions, conditions turned dangerous as nighttime temperatures approached freezing, creating frost, ice, and rare snowfall risks. For many communities, this cold wave felt unfamiliar, not because cold never happens, but because intensity and duration exceeded expectations. The timing made matters worse, arriving during peak Tet preparation when travel, shopping, and family movement usually reach their highest levels. People preparing homes, food, and travel plans suddenly had to prioritize warmth, health protection, and constant weather monitoring instead. This cold wave did not emerge randomly, but followed a broader climate pattern influencing northern Vietnam throughout the 2025-2026 winter. La Niña played a significant role, strengthening cold air masses and pushing them deeper south with more force than usual. Instead of short cold spells, residents faced repeated waves with minimal recovery time, increasing physical exhaustion and economic pressure. Climate specialists emphasize this reflects changing global climate behavior rather than a single, unusual weather incident. Global warming does not eliminate cold. It intensifies instability, causing sharper extremes across both hot and cold seasons worldwide. Health risks quickly became a major concern as prolonged cold affects vulnerable populations more severely than healthy adults. Elderly individuals face cardiovascular strain as cold constricts blood vessels, raising blood pressure and increasing heart attack risks. Young children struggle regulating body temperature, making them more vulnerable to hypothermia and respiratory infections. Cold air irritates airways, leading to increased asthma attacks, bronchitis cases, and seasonal flu transmission across communities. Mountain residents face heightened danger as freezing temperatures raise hypothermia and frostbite risks, especially for outdoor workers. One of the most serious threats during cold waves comes from unsafe heating practices inside poorly ventilated homes. Some households resort to charcoal stoves indoors. Unaware, carbon monoxide accumulates silently and can cause fatal poisoning quickly. Authorities strictly warned against such practices, recalling tragic losses during previous winters caused by improper heating methods. Schools, particularly boarding institutions, received urgent instructions to protect students through safer heating and schedule adjustments. Dormitories underwent increased monitoring to ensure warmth without risking ventilation-related health hazards for children. Healthcare services prepared for increased patient loads related to cold exposure, respiratory illnesses, and chronic condition complications. Beyond health, agriculture suffered heavily as frost and persistent cold damaged crops and weakened livestock resilience. Rice seedlings, vegetables, and tea plantations faced frost burns that could reduce yields and delay future harvest cycles. Livestock exposed to cold experienced stress, weakened immunity, and higher disease risk without adequate shelter. Farmers rushed to reinforce barns, stock additional feed, and minimize animal exposure to freezing rain. Despite guidance, limited resources prevented many rural families from fully protecting agricultural investments. Cold-related agricultural losses threaten food supply stability, especially as Tet demand traditionally increases nationwide. Supply chains slowed as rain, fog, and slippery roads disrupted transportation between farms, markets, and cities. Mountain passes became hazardous, increasing accident risks for travelers transporting goods and returning home. Air travel and rail services faced potential delays due to fog, low visibility, and weather-related safety precautions. Coastal areas experienced strong winds and high waves, forcing fishing boats to remain docked for safety. Fishing communities lost daily income as maritime conditions made operations too dangerous to continue temporarily. All these disruptions converged during Tet season, amplifying economic, emotional, and logistical stress nationwide. Tet is not simply a holiday, but a deeply rooted cultural reunion involving millions traveling simultaneously. Cold weather complicated these movements, increasing accident risks and testing infrastructure resilience under pressure. Authorities urged travelers to remain flexible, monitor forecasts, and prioritize safety over strict schedules. Some reassurance emerged as meteorologists predicted no new severe cold fronts during the main Tet holiday period. While temperatures may remain cool, conditions are expected to be milder compared to early February extremes. Cloudy mornings, drizzle, and fog may persist, but dangerous freezing risks should gradually decline. Markets selling Tet essentials experienced reduced foot traffic, affecting vendors who depend heavily on seasonal sales. Outdoor cultural events faced attendance challenges as people avoided prolonged exposure to cold and rain. Despite hardships, communities demonstrated strong solidarity, checking on elderly neighbors and sharing warmth resources. Local authorities work continuously to maintain power supply, healthcare readiness, and emergency response capacity. This cold wave highlighted Vietnam's growing need for climate adaptation beyond traditional seasonal expectations. Homes require better insulation, safer heating solutions, and public awareness about cold weather health risks. Agriculture must adopt climate-resilient methods to withstand increasing variability in temperature and rainfall. Emergency planning needs refinement to respond faster and more efficiently to extreme weather events. Public education remains essential, as informed communities make safer decisions during unpredictable climate conditions. This experience offers valuable lessons for policymakers, farmers, healthcare workers, and families alike. Cold waves are no longer rare anomalies, but recurring challenges requiring structured preparation and cooperation. Tet 2026 became a test of balance between tradition, safety, and adaptability under changing climate realities. Families adjusted celebrations, travel timing, and expectations while maintaining cultural values responsibly. When the cold eventually recedes, its impact will extend beyond weather memories into long-term planning priorities. This event underscores how climate, health, economy, and culture intersect during moments of environmental stress. Preparedness, awareness, and community cooperation proved more powerful than any single emergency response tool. Northern Vietnam's resilience shines through collective action rather than individual endurance alone. The cold wave narrative is not about fear, but about adaptation through understanding and responsible choices. Each household decision, from heating methods to travel timing, directly influenced safety outcomes. This period reinforced that survival during extreme weather depends on informed behavior and shared responsibility. The lessons learned now will shape responses to future cold waves and climate extremes. Vietnam's experience demonstrates that resilience grows through awareness, planning, and social cohesion. This script presents a complete understanding of causes, impacts, risks, responses, and future implications clearly. No part of the situation stands isolated. Every factor connects to health, economy, culture, and climate. Through this lens, the February 2026 cold wave becomes a case study in modern climate challenges. By learning from it, communities can reduce future harm and strengthen preparedness nationwide. This knowledge empowers readers with clarity rather than fear or incomplete understanding. The story concludes not with panic, but with informed awareness and practical readiness. In that sense, the cold wave becomes both a warning and an opportunity for long-term resilience.